but I was browsing Facebook one day and our local animal shelter posted a picture of this teeny tiny little kitten. I filmed Ariel's story back in April and I'm finally posting it, but there's some caveats. I need to add some updates to it. So this is present day Mickayla, like mid-August 2022. Our girl's been having a rough time, but I'm gonna tell you the original story first. So let's go to that clip. Hi guys, I am sitting here with our new old kitty, Ariel. Say hi. Hi. She doesn't like to be held very much. I figured I would do a little bit of a story time on basically all about her and why we have her now, how she came into our lives, and just like her whole story. I'm going to start with the fact that she is 8 years old. She's obviously a calico. She is pretty slonky. She's a decently large cat. I'd say she's pretty average. We have one really tiny little kitty, Miss Peanut Butter, and we have one big boy, Musif, and she's right kind of in the middle. So she is 8 years old, like I said. She's in the litter box right now. And I graduated high school in 2014, and the day before I graduated high school, our house sold. So that summer, my dad and my brother and I moved into a rental because there was nothing for sale at the time. So we moved into a rental the summer I turned 18, lived there for like 3 months, and then the week that I started college a few months later and also started my first job, we moved. During that time, I was like freshly out of school and we had just moved and we had property our whole lives, a lot of land, and we did have kitties. We had a lot of pets growing up. They were always indoor-outdoor pets though, and I wanted a kitty since we were in a rental, and I knew that at some point in the near future I would be moving into my own home/apartment or something, which I did. I would not be able to have an indoor-outdoor pet, so I wasn't really actively looking, but I was browsing Facebook one day and our local animal shelter posted a picture of this teeny tiny little kitten, and I'll pop it in here so you can see what she used to look like. And it said she was 8 weeks old. She was 1 pound, which I think she was supposed to be 2 pounds, so she was only half the weight she was supposed to be. And her name was Ariel. The post said that the reason she was named Ariel is because she had been found in the river. This could be from 2 reasons. Either one, she simply fell off the bridge, like the overpass bridge, into the river, or somebody threw her in the river. Anyways, I don't know who it was, but some very kind person saved her from the water, and this teeny tiny little, like she was literally like this big, guys, 1 pound kitten, somebody saved her and brought her to the animal shelter, and I was like, I need her. She's mine. This is my cat. At that time, I was obsessed with mermaids. So I called the shelter and left a message, and it was like a Sunday when I saw her. Obviously, they weren't open, so I called them again like really early the next morning, and the lady told me that they had like a whole handful of people who were planning on coming to pick her up. Like literally there was like a line of people waiting to come get her. And she said that if those people didn't show up or answer the phone when they got their chance, I think it was probably at least 5 people. If none of those people could come get her or wouldn't answer the phone when she called them that day, that she was mine. I remember anxiously waiting for like a few hours that day, and finally I got a phone call saying that like nobody else picked up, so like it was meant to be. So my brother and I went to the dollar store, because that's like the only grocery store we have in our hometown. literally like the Dollar General. We got some cat food, we got a little litter box for her, some toys, and we got like a little beanie baby because she was so tiny she couldn't sleep with us. We didn't want to like squish her, so she had to sleep in a little carrier, and we got her a beanie baby to sleep with, and we went and picked her up, and that's the end of that part of the story. She got big, she got her first bath, she plumped right up. Flash forward to moving into my first apartment with my ex-boyfriend. So we moved in and she was our only pet. Well, over the year and like a few months, probably like 15 months that she had been with us, living with my dad and my brother and I, my brother didn't really follow my rule of her being an indoor cat only, because I wanted her to be trained to be indoors and only go outside when I brought her out, like on a leash or in a carrier or whatever, to like be outside. He didn't follow that rule, so when she moved into my first apartment with me, she was absolutely miserable. She wanted to be outside all of the time. Like, she wanted to be with our other cat, playing on like all of our land, so that was a problem. She would literally poop in our shoes because she was so unhappy being in that apartment. And then I did everything I could to like try and change her litter box every day, got her like a self-cleaning litter box, got her cat grass, like as much as I could. I tried to take her on walks, and you know, we were in like a busier area at that point, like downtown at my college town, so we couldn't really just like let her out. And I was always just nervous about that. I know it's not good to just like let your pets out. We ended up moving to a larger apartment, and it had a little bit more space, so I thought maybe she'd be happier, but then I also ended up moving in with roommates. One of them had a cat, and that's around the time that we also got Moo, baby kitten Moo, and I was living between that apartment and my boyfriend's apartment and bringing Moo back and forth with me. But Ariel, she didn't love the car very much. So she just kind of like, her mental health, her physical health, she wasn't happy there. And I was doing the best that I could, like trying to keep up, going back and forth and making sure she had all of the stuff she needed and time and attention that she needed. And it just got really hard, and she just still wasn't happy that she couldn't be outside. So I ended up taking her back to my dad's house because he still had property, and she just jumped up. I have you set up on her tower, and she just jumped up here, so you're gonna see her little tail. So she went back to my dad's for a very extended vacation so she could be like indoor, outdoor. And she's been there since 5 or 6 years now. So we've been without her for the majority of mine and Taylor's relationship, unfortunately. I really like have felt guilty about kind of just like ditching her the whole time she was at my dad's, and this is hard for me to talk about. I've felt really bad about it. We ended up moving to North Carolina, and we also had an apartment there. We couldn't take her with us, and at that point we had 2 other kitties who were used to being indoors and were happy being indoors or just like happy being on a patio that's like raised so they can't get down. We moved back from North Carolina, and we ended up living with a friend for almost 2 years, a year and a half. And finally, about 5 months ago, we bought our own house, and we have a very large yard. We still live in a neighborhood, but it's a really quiet neighborhood, and we have the ability to build like a catio type of deal so she can still go outside and like hang out in the sunshine once we get that set up, and I can take her on walks here and everything. And there's lots of windows and lots of birds and bird feeders, and she has lots of space to run around and kind of be free. We're still transitioning her into like living with the other kitties, but she's doing really well. So she's with us now for good. No matter where we go, we're gonna make it work and figure it out. But yeah, that's basically her story. She is in her own little bedroom right now, and we let her out most of the time during the day, and she sleeps in here by herself right now because she's not trained to eat the way that our other kitties eat. So we feed our cats 4 times a day, like small meals, because One of them is on like prescription diet food because he's a little ham. She's a grazer, and if she eats too quickly, she throws up. So she's never had to like have meals, so we're trying to like figure out how to transition her to that and like get her used to eating in small bits. Or eventually we're gonna get her hopefully like a microchip feeder so that Moo can't eat it. Same with Miss Peanut, so they can graze whenever they want. But now she's just gonna have to, we'll have to just kind of train her. So it's gonna be a long process, and that's why she's in here at night, so she can snack at night, because she's pretty nocturnal. And our other two kitties literally sleep in the bed with us all night long. Like, they're trained for bedtime. She's doing really well. And she seems quite happy here. She's not really that used to the, she looks so mad right now. She's not used to the other cats yet. They're still getting to know each other, but she's been playing and snuggling whenever she can. We've had lots of laser pointer time, and yeah, I think she's gonna be happy here, and we're definitely very, very happy to have her here. Her first night here, Taylor and I literally took turns sleeping on the floor with her in her room because she just cried the whole night and she just wanted us to sleep with her. She's such a sweet girl. She's an absolute killing machine. My dad said he literally had to like lock the cat doors so that they couldn't bring dead animals in, because they were bringing them in and hiding them under the couches and stuff so often. Oh, I forgot to mention, one of the main reasons that we ended up going to get her when we did, and we weren't like fully 100% ready to bring her here because the house isn't fully set up yet. The reason is my brother got a dog. The dog terrorizes her. Like, she was basically just like living under my dad's couch because she was just so upset all the time with the dog. So he's like, you need to come get her. She's not happy here anymore. And she wasn't going outside even anymore, really. So she's gonna have a lot happier life here, and we're very happy to have her. And yeah, so welcome home, Bug. We love you. Okay, so back to present day. That was back in April. Thanks for listening to her story. It's really special to me. Probably a month ago now, we started having a really rough time with Bug throwing up constantly. No matter what she would eat, she would immediately regurgitate it, but she was also having issues with not being able to keep anything down in general. Like, if her tummy was empty, she would still be throwing up clear liquid, foam, you know, all the gross stuff. I had like multiple times a day, like sometimes like 5 or 6 times a day. It was a lot. So obviously we're down in the camper now. We don't have a vet yet because we are not settled and we don't know exactly where we're going to be. So we were like, shoot, we gotta take her to the vet. Took her to the vet, and they were like, let's give her some new food. It's probably a hairball issue. You know, let's see if some like sensitive tummy food works. It could be hairballs or just like a hair issue. So they gave her something called Laxatone as well, and it's like this tube of tuna goop that like you squeeze out, and it tastes like tuna, but it helps with them like hairballs and stuff. So she was taking those, she was on her new food just fine, and then she started throwing up again after like 4 days. Then we went back multiple times. She got prescribed an anti-nausea med, so she's been taking that every single day for like a month now, 3 weeks or so, and that has helped significantly. But they wanted to do an ultrasound because obviously there's more wrong than just hair. So they were like, well, hopefully it's just IBS or something, or IBD. Turns out it wasn't. They think it's after the ultrasound they came back and they told us that they think it might be small cell lymphoma, and then like a combination of that and IBD. So she does have inflamed intestines and everything. Yeah, so she has cancer, basically, which is really hard to hear. But right now, it's been another 2 weeks since we got the ultrasound. We finally got her biopsy scheduled, and she's currently there at the vet right now. I'll probably try and take a clip of her when we bring her home. She'll probably be a little bit loopy, but they said she's got some like special jammies that she gets to wear because she doesn't like her cone. She freaked out when they put the cone on her. She got microchipped at the same time she was under, but right now she's or she just got her biopsy done this morning. She's still at the vet. They took 2 samples of her intestine and then a lymph node sample that they're sending into a lab and hoping to get some results back on that within the next week. If they do think it's cancerous or malignant tumor, they will probably send it for additional testing to like determine like the strain of whatever, and then we'll have to wait another week to kind of get that figured out. And once we know what it is, we're gonna get her taken care of. She's been expensive, but we'll do whatever we need to get our girl better. But yeah, it's been about $4,000 so far, probably more than $4,000 so far. And that's not even including the treatment or the testing. This is likely going to push back our house hunting journey a little bit, which sucks. But like I said, we'll do anything that we need to get her feeling good again and get her in all fixed up. It's just kind of dipping into our savings a lot right now, which sucks. It's really hard because we want to give her more space so she's comfortable and happy to heal and recover, but we can't because it's costing so much. So keep bugging your thoughts. She is in good spirits and very happy and snuggly and lovey still. She feels fine. She doesn't seem like she's in pain at all yet. So fingers crossed that she stays that way. Fingers crossed for good results on the biopsy samples that get sent out. You guys posted on those and let you know what we hear, but I just felt like I needed to give the update since I wanted to post her story anyway, and it continues. She's a trooper. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed her story. Like I said in the last video, we have merch now, and the merch site is linked below. Our website's linked below. You can get to the merch site through that too. There's a donation tab. I don't expect anybody to donate, but if you feel like you want a cute shirt and also to help with Bug, we appreciate literally everything, anything, even just kind words. Everything helps. I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you for tuning in again, and I believe I'll be posting a camper tour next week, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.